The PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now listening to the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. What's going on, fam? How y'all doing on this day? I'd like to give you a round of applause for joining us here on the Pelican Post-Game Report. We have some exciting news, man. Exciting news, man. Could we talk about relevancy now? After a hard year, man, think about this, fam. First of all, thank y'all for joining us on the Pelican Post-Game Report on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q, your host. This is podcast 359, man. Pelicans land the number one overall pick in the draft. Now, this was just a lottery. Of course, the draft is not until later on. But this is just monumental for so many reasons. The Pelicans missed the playoffs. They were dreadful this past season. Anthony Davis trade demands basically destroyed the team. Elvin Gentry didn't do any better. But prior to that, the team went to the previous year. They excelled. Had much success, went into the second round of the playoffs against Golden State after smashing the Portland Trailblazers, who, by the way, are now in the Western Conference Finals. Thank you very much, Portland, for pissing you off to actually go that extra mile. Thank you. We like to say you're welcome from New Orleans for helping you ascend. But listen, man, this is about the Pelicans. Pelicans, man, land that overall first round pick. Now, this has huge ramifications on so many levels because Anthony Davis, the news on AD, and we'll cover that in this podcast. It's the fact that the Pelicans, man, you bring in David Griffin as a general manager. A VP, vice president of basketball operations, yet to hire a general manager, who then turns around, hires the best trainer in the NBA, who was running Phoenix staff for 20-something odd years. Remember, in previous seasons, we talked about how dreadful the Pelicans and Saints training facilities were. Now we have one of the best trainers in the NBA now working for us. That is huge on so many levels. Now, fast forward to today. Zion Williamson is obviously the heads above shoulders pick for whoever was going to pick it. First it was New York, then all these other teams saying that they were going to get the pick. The Pelicans snuck in there, man, and landed. It has to be a huge surprise for many people. Still kind of blowing up the deal that the Pelicans land the top pick in the draft. They won the lottery. And obviously the chance to draft Zion Williamson, the phenom. It's going to be awesome, man. Now, the Pelicans coming into this had a 6% chance of winning the lottery and defeated the odds. Man, this is monumental because it represents Williamson, who is, he's a phenom, man. 6'7", 285-pound guy that's just blowing away everybody. Averaging 22, almost 23 points a game, 9 rebounds a game while shooting 68% from the floor, about 33% from deep. Guess what, man? The Pelicans, we get this guy. And this is huge, man, on so many levels. And I'm very happy that the Pelicans were able to land this pick and it started something, man. Now, of course, we're not going to trade this pick, but if you're the Pelicans, what do you do? What do we do now with Anthony Davis? Could we possibly dream about pairing Anthony Davis? We still got him under contract for one more season. pairing Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson together along Drew Holiday, and of course whoever else David Griffin brings here. Could you imagine? I mean, this is just on so many levels. The Pelicans have a good amount of cap space, about $19 to $20 million in cap space, maybe a little bit more, depending on how they do what they do with Solomon Hill's contract or what have you. But to me, man, this is huge. I mean, this just happened. So excuse me as I'm trying to grasp for words to describe the feelings that's going through my head right now, because the Pelicans, man, relevancy is the only word I can come up with. You pairing Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson together. Man, could you imagine, man? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Big ups to the Pelicans, man. We got that first pick, and it's definitely going to be Zion Williamson. So I'm going to give a round of applause, man. Let's give it up, man. Let's give it up to the fans. Let's give it up to me. Let's give it up to all y'all out there that had to endure a whole year of all that madness. And now we have a lot of hope, as opposed to what are we going to do? Are we going to trade Anthony Davis or what have you? Now let's get into that, man. Of course, Anthony Davis, not too long ago, quite recently, was quoted as not being too impressed with the David Griffin signing. He still wanted to be traded. Like I said, we still have him under contract for one more year. We don't have to trade him. We could pair him and Zion Williamson together, because we know that the Pelicans will not choose anybody else at that position except for Zion Williamson. Could we get that established? If they do, I'm turning in my Pelican hat. I mean, I can't. Listen, you get a guy like Zion Williamson, you have a guy like Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday there. This is just what this franchise needed. It needed a nuclear bomb, as you will, to set off, to kind of ignite the fan base once again to talk about Pelican basketball. Imagine when the schedules come out, who's going to be on TV more than anybody else? Everybody's going to see Anthony Davis and Zion Williamson play together. The crazy part is the Pelicans wasn't even supposed to get the top pick. But guess what? We hit the jackpot, baby. That's right. Pelicans land the number one pick in the draft. They win the lottery. Big ups to the Pelicans, man. Of course, the top four are there's the Pelicans at the top. Number two is the Memphis Grizzlies, followed by the Knicks, and then the Lakers bringing up the rear. Now, I mean, I want y'all to talk to me on this one, family. Talk to me on this one, because I'm going to need y'all help on this one. I really am. Explain to me what y'all think's going to happen here. Of course, my mindset would be to keep Anthony Davis and try to pair him with Zion Williamson and see how that works. You know, see how that works. That's my initial thought, because you got Anthony Davis, who's one of the top three best players in the NBA. You got Drew Holiday playing like he's been playing. Then you add a phenom star like Zion Williamson to pair with those two. Oh, my goodness, man. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, it's just so much going on here. And, of course, we know David Griffin's going to build a more than capable team around those three guys. Now, let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's say, for instance, that the Pelicans, the Anthony Davis said, you know what, y'all got y'all star. I'm not interested in playing with Zion Williamson. I want to go. You know, I done served my time. Y'all got y'all next star. Move me out of here. It's his team now. I want to go play with somebody else. Let's just say that's the mentality, right? Let's just go with that. What do you do with Anthony Davis? I mean, you holding all of the chips. I mean, what do you do with Anthony Davis? Seriously, the Pelicans don't really need to trade a damn thing to the Knicks or the Lakers, because what? Guess what? We holding the cards here. We got Zion Williamson. So what would be the caveat to moving Anthony Davis for extra picks from Boston? Who would you go to? I mean, what would you do? Talk to me. You know, comment in the section. Tell me what would you send Anthony Davis? Would you still chase Jason Tatum? Well, by my thought process, I think probably if you have to trade Anthony Davis and get something back, you might as well go with the package Boston's going to give you. They basically imploding anyway. I mean, Terry Rozier's coming out dissing both Kyrie Irving and Gordon. You know, I mean, they just had. I mean, Danny Ainge has been kind of for a long time been giving that big, big ups and all that kind of stuff. But his team is really falling apart. So, what could we really do here if Anthony Davis doesn't want to stay? You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't want to stay, if you have to trade Anthony Davis, where would you send him to? Me, for certain, I wouldn't send him in the Western Conference. That's for sure. So whatever the Clippers offering, whatever the Lakers offering, or whoever West Coast team, I wouldn't do it. I would send him to the East Coast, and the best chance for you to get assets back would be with the Boston Celtics. That would be my case. Jason Tatum, and then you pair Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, and Zion Williamson together, and that's still a serious group of guys. You know what I mean? That's still a serious group of guys. You know? I mean, I don't know. I picture the scenario like, let's say if Anthony Davis didn't want to stay, you can trade him to, there was rumors about the Pelicans looking at Knox and other players from the New York Knicks that broke not too long ago, a day or two ago. If that's the case and they're interested in what the Knicks have, the Knicks now have the 3rd overall pick. If you sent Anthony Davis to the Knicks for Knox and the big center prospect from Shelmet Robinson, then you can get the Knicks' 3rd round pick this year. The Grizzlies pick 2nd. I don't think the Grizzlies are in the market to pick Morant, the point god, as he calls himself. They could possibly pick him because Conley's getting up there in age, but why would you take Morant in that role? Maybe you face somebody else in that role, or you basically trade out of that role. If that happens, I don't see the Grizzlies staying there. I could possibly see them moving out of that pick and going somewhere else. But it's a lot of moving parts, and it's kind of hard to kind of determine which way this would all play out. But let's give you the top 14 lottery results. Of course, our Pelicans stand at the top of the chain. Memphis Grizzlies are 2nd with the Knicks 4th. Knicks are 3rd. Lakers are 4th. Cleveland is 5th. Phoenix is 6th. Bulls are 7th. Hawks 8th. 9th are the Wizards. Hawks again at 10. Minnesota 11. 12th are the Hornets. The Heat are 13th. And the Celtics are 14th via the Sacramento Kings. So even if you did make a move with the Boston Celtics, what could you really get from that? You know what I'm saying? What would you, what is it, But anyway, I just think it's absolutely awesome. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. I think it's absolutely awesome that the Pelicans got this. This is redemption for us. They finished 33-49. It was an awful season in which Miss Gail Benson, big ups to her, laid the law down, fired Dale Demps, and said that we're going to take the Pelicans seriously. So what did she do? She brings in David Griffin, makes him the VP of basketball operations. He brings in the best trainer in the NBA, and he's still searching for his general manager. But guess what? After landing the number 1 pick in the draft, this is most certainly, to me, is just a marvelous accomplishment, even though they ain't doing too much but sucked. But the basketball guys were on the Pelican side. After all the turmoil that we had to endure, it just seemed like, it seems right that it all came the way it did. Now, we bear this in mind, family. We also can hold on to Anthony Davis and pair him with Zion Williamson. And if it doesn't work and AD still wants to be traded, we could trade him before the trade deadline. That could work. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the bottom line is, man, the Pelicans, man, it's starting to look really good. You know what I see? I'm gonna just do a future view for y'all guys. You know what I see? I see the New Orleans Arena packed to the gills, standing room only, to watch Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson, and Drew Holiday play for the New Orleans Pelicans. Your New Orleans Pelicans. Big deal. But anyway, that'll do it for the show. Thank you for joining us. Put your comments in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think, what's going to happen with this whole situation. And as always, thank you for listening to Pelican Post Game Report. Subscribe to the Pelican Post Game Report on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and thank you for joining us. Peace.
Straight sports talk from the sports coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet need it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to embracepetinsurance.com. That's embracepetinsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans. Attention, everyone. Get breakdown on games, free agent signings, and potential moves. Unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Valley. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.